Support for the Leadoff on WGLT and WGLT.org comes from the Central Illinois Regional Airport. The airport team strives to make air travel accessible to all through the Sunflower program, allowing individuals to self-identify when they need more assistance. More on the Hidden Disability Sunflower program at CIRA.com.
Governor J.B. Pritzker and other Illinois Democrats are rallying around Vice President Kamala Harris. It's one of the things you need to know to start your day for Tuesday, July 23rd. I'm Ryan Denham, and this is WGLT's The Leadoff. Now let's lead off with many Central Illinois Democrats trying to coalesce around Vice President Harris fast as the new nominee for president following Joe Biden's decision to get out of the race. Republicans say they see an opportunity. WGLT's Ben Howell has more.
A Joe Biden delegate from Bloomington says she hopes the Democratic Party can avoid a contested convention next month. State Representative Sharon Chung says she plans to support Vice President Harris, and seeing many Democratic leaders do the same encourages her.
A lot of that chaos I was a little scared of, and I kind of told somebody, I don't know if I give off that impression, but I really don't like chaos and drama. I try to steer clear of a lot of that if possible.
The intriguing background of Harris is why a Bloomington labor figure was a Harris delegate 4 years ago when the then senator ran for the presidential nomination. Mike Matika of the Laborers Union says Harris comes from a liberal state, but was also a prosecutor.
I thought that was a very interesting combination for somebody who could uphold the law, but at the same time be someone who was going to do progressive things for people.
Matika says he thinks Harris will be able to maintain the forward momentum of the Biden administration on infrastructure and climate change while safeguarding Social Security, Medicare, and Medicaid. Democratic Illinois State Senator Dave Kaler of Peoria says the next big question for Democrats is who joins Harris on the ballot as running mate.
Governor Pritzker would be an excellent choice to the ticket, but then again, Illinois is probably not going to vote for Trump in the first place. So, it may be that there'll be more interest in some of the swing states.
Republicans are hoping the switch up at the top of the ticket will help them in other races. Tazewell County GOP Chair Jim Rule says the decision does not change his party's approach to the election.
I think that the down-ballot races are going to be much more stronger, but that really depends on how the Republicans in their particular races, like myself as the county chair, how we promote those races, how we get those candidates some, name recognition so that people know who they are.
Rule says Biden should resign as president, saying that if the president doesn't have the ability to run for office, he shouldn't continue as president. Democrats say there's a big difference between the next 4 years and the next 6 months. With reporting from Charlie Schlenker, Eric Stock, and Tim Shelley, I'm Ben Howell.
Here's some other stories we're following in the WGLT newsroom. The private foundation, the Commonwealth Fund, has released a healthcare scorecard ranking access and quality to women's healthcare services better than average in Illinois compared to other states. Illinois is getting over $430 million in federal EPA grant funding for climate pollution reduction efforts. That money will fund transportation, building, and agriculture projects. Illinois received the third highest of any grant recipient. And there are 4 people who say they want to fill a circuit judge vacancy in Woodford County as Charles Feeney retires. They are Bloomington Attorney Joe Foley, Woodford County State's Attorney Greg Minger, current Associate Judge Michael Stroh, and Attorney Hugh Toner, who has a law office in Peoria. The state Supreme Court will make that appointment. You can find more on these stories at WGLT.org. Chemberly Harris says she's running for mayor of Normal next spring. The 2-term town council member will challenge incumbent Chris Coos, who is seeking a 6th term. Harris tells WGLT correspondent Adeline Schultz that she plans to counter Coos's 2 decades of experience with her own experience and perspective.
Sometimes you can have a long-standing relationship. It doesn't mean that the other person doesn't have relationships with stakeholders. A new face isn't always a bad thing. And having the ability to hear a different side of some things is also good as well.
Others still have time to join the race. What case will you make to the voters to elect you in particular?
For me in particular, I've been serving while as a council member. There's a lot of stuff that I have been able to do in that seat beyond just sit on the dais and make a vote. And so I have shown that I know how to go the extra distance to make sure that someone's advocating for our community, that's bringing resources to our community. So there's things that I've already been kind of doing from the seat of a council member. This would just give me an additional opportunity to do that, even more of that.
Do you believe this opens up the door for a more conservative candidate to win while you and Mayor Coos split the centrist and progressive vote in this election?
So I really don't like questions like that. And the reason why I say that is because we're nonpartisan, and I don't want people to start thinking of me as just this very siloed or monolithic candidate, because I'm not. I want to know people's thoughts, and I want them to also buy into the vision that we have for the community. And you can't do that when people already have preconceived notions or unconscious bias just based off of you being labeled as being liberal.
This is Adeline Schultz talking with Chemberly Harris, who is running for mayor of the town of Normal. What is your vision for the town, and what would you do if elected?
So my vision is definitely allowing us to thrive, which is the continuous growth, the continuous development, even pushing us forward. So a lot of that will continue. I want us to think about what the next 20 years will look like, or even beyond, because a lot of change is coming. We're seeing a lot of dynamics in the average age and average income. There's so many things that are coming. And I'm feel like we have to take a step back and take another look at what this community looks like and how do we serve the current community, not the community we've had in the past.
The housing shortage is one issue that Normal and many other communities are struggling with right now, as you mentioned in your announcement. Is there more the town should be doing?
I think that the fact that we're looking at that and planning is definitely a part of it. My thought is always, too, is that not that we just put a Band-Aid on this situation and think about how do we fix the current problem, but how do we plan for the future, because this could come back around. And again, the dynamics of the housing market and the housing industry overall, it's going to take a shift, and we have to be ready for what that shift is going to look like going forward.
That was Normal candidate for mayor Chemberly Harris speaking with WGLT correspondent Adeline Schultz. You can read or listen to the rest of their conversation at WGLT.org. Before we let you go, McLean County government will break ground on its new animal control building this morning in Shirley. You can hear full coverage this afternoon during All Things Considered. And that's it for today. I'm Ryan Denham, and the show is produced by Rosalie Truback. You can subscribe to The Leadoff on the NPR app or wherever you get your podcasts.